we're coming up on Valentine's Day after all, and what better way to ring it in than by talking about probably one of the most beloved love stories of all time in Cinderella, a movie that turned 75 years old in 2025, actually 75 years old this week. And this came out at a very integral turning point for Disney Animated Studios, because they weren't really doing all that well financially. They ended up around $4 million in debt around this point. So Walt Disney and Company needed to put together a massive hit, and they needed to make back its returns quickly. And what better way to do that than by reverting back to the folk tale, the fairy tale, and turning it into a cute little animated movie that the entire family can enjoy. Okay, story. So you have a young woman named Cinderella whose father unfortunately passes away, and she's left to live with her evil stepmother, Lady Tremaine, along with her two evil stepsisters. She longs to go out into public, away from her chores. And there's an invitation to go to the ball from the charming prince of the land, in which every maiden is encouraged to go because the prince is actually on the verge of marriage. And he's got to pick a bride, which in Disney time is like no time at all. Like, yeah, you can very easily predict that because it's Disney, the prince is going to marry the first girl he meets at the ball that he ends up enjoying spending his time with. But her evil stepmother won't allow it. Her dress is torn to smithereens. Her fairy godmother comes in to save the day, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo, and so forth. And yeah, I don't think I need to worry about keeping anything from being spoiled for you guys. But it's a Disney fairy tale. Of course it's going to have a happily ever after. And it's a very sweet romantic movie. Honestly, looking back on it, it's not my all-time favorite Disney movie. It received massive critical acclaim though. So if you want to sit there and tell me that this is like your favorite Disney movie, if this is your childhood right here, I'm not going to fault you for having some sort of bias. This is a review channel, of course, though, so I'm going to take off my rose-colored glasses. Let's talk about the really good stuff in this movie. The animation is so damn colorful. Even still 75 years later, this is a really impressive feature to look at. I can only imagine how great it looked in the theater, but it still looks phenomenal on TV as well. Our hero is very strong. Cinderella's personality is basically the equivalent of what every customer service job is looking for. Even though she's being hounded by entitled people all day, she still keeps a smile on her face and she keeps doing her work. And yeah, she is, for lack of a better term, a role model for young girls. This whole entire movie, this is a little girl's dream come true. And I'm sure once you get the Lady Tremaine involved, it's every little girl's nightmare come true. Lady Tremaine is probably one of my favorite parts of this movie. Top tier Disney villain easily. The way she's animated, Eleanor Audley's voice work in this. She would wind up becoming Maleficent about a decade afterwards. And it's very easy to see why. She carries a dignity and an elegance to what she's saying. And just the simple fact that she is so domineering over one person's life. And that's enough to make her a top tier Disney baddie. God, you just want to see Cinderella get one over on her. Look at the way she's sitting there stroking that cat. The nostalgia critic did say she was like a Bond villain just with that shot. And honestly, after hearing him say that, I would love to see a James Bond movie with Lady Tremaine as the villain. That would draw massive coin. And good lord, the death stare towards the top of the third act. That is an image that will live rent-free in my head for the rest of my life. The rest of the movie is pretty par for the course of what you'd expect from a really solid Disney movie of the time. The fairy godmother is lovably ditzy at times, but she has a really good heart, and her song is basically the thing that people remember the most out of this. The animal sidekicks, Jack and Gus, very, very cute. We gotta get Cinderella! That's Jim MacDonald voicing Jack, by the way, and yeah, he would turn into the voice of Chip between Chip and Dale for a lot of his life. And I swear, like, that guy sounded a lot like the voice actor for Donald Duck. We looked it up, it's not the same guy, but he sounds eerily familiar. And I thought for this review, I was going to pull out that massive flex of a connection and say that Jack was also the voice of Donald Duck, but no, that would not be accurate at all. I will say, though, that the cutesiness of the animals leads into some of my issues with this movie. For as short of a runtime as this movie actually has, it spends a lot of time on the cutesy animal slapstick, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it feels like there's solid 10-minute sequences where we're just looking at these animals. And I get it. Look, hindsight's 20/20. Disney's MO is entertainment for the entire family. And you want to make sure you got some stuff that the little kids can enjoy. And that's what these mites are here to do. So I can't dock the movie too many points for it. I will dock the movie points for its treatment of the prince, who I swear to God I feel like gets bare minimum dialogue. And if he does get dialogue, it is not memorable at all. Like, I remember him yawning more than I remember him speaking. The movie feels like it's actually more about his dad wanting the prince to fall in love than him actually wanting to fall in love, which is a big problem. So I think, again, kind of like Sleeping Beauty in a sense, but maybe not so much to that extent, Cinderella does feel like a pretty unbalanced feature. The main character is really good, the villain is excellent, but I feel like the movie does spend way more time with the cute animals for its own good, when that time could have been used to elevate a character like, I don't know, the freaking prince. Maybe give him some depth. Maybe we can find out why he wants to throw this ball. Maybe we can figure out why he and his dad are at odds with one another. Oh yeah, that's what the remake is for. Huh, fancy that. But again, no denying this movie's influence. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for Cinderella, Disney Animation Studios would not be the massive juggernaut that it is right now. This movie is a true pioneer, and it's a great romantic movie that the entire family can enjoy. I'm going to give the OG Cinderella an A-. Seems like as good of a time as any to revisit it, because I know I'm going to be revisiting it a hell of a lot more. Let me know what you think of this movie down in the comments section below. What are some of your favorite classic Disney movies? And who is your favorite Disney princess? I don't know if I've asked that one yet. Lots that we can discuss over here on this channel and then some. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Tap on that thumbs up as well. And you know what? Might as well. Stay tuned for my review of the Cinderella remake as well. Because believe it or not, that movie is on its anniversary as well. 10 years ago. 2015 was 10 years ago. Oh man, that's such an integral point of my lifetime, man. I feel old. But again, thank you so much again for your continued support. We're inching so close to that 2,000 subscriber mark. We can taste it. I've got a very special surprise in store for you guys. I can't reveal what it is until I get there though. So stay tuned. Thank you all so much again. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.